Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. So it's a real pleasure for me to start this webinar to set the theme for the forthcoming presentation aimed at highlighting the role of Port Réunion as a risk-free gateway to Europe in the Indian Ocean. I have shared my presentation into two parts. In the first part, I will talk about Port Réunion and introduce you my island either. In the second part, I will share with you our vision regarding risk management pertaining our strategy. First of all, some background information regarding Réunion Island. Roughly, people even not know where is located Réunion Island. It's this French and European region which is off the coast of Madagascar and close to Mauritius. This Réunion hosts a port. This is our port, Port Réunion, which is divided in two sites, 3 kilometers away. It's a bird eye view, as you see. On your left, you can see our west port, our historical port, which hosts fishing, yachting, and ship repairing facilities. It's also the France 3rd Navy base. The East Port, our main facility, features a turning circle of 480 meters, dredged at 16 meters, with a entrance channel of the same depth, 1,600 long of quay, dredged at between 13.5 and 15.5 meters in depth. This facility can accommodate large container vessels up to 10,000 TEUs, and it will be important in the following of my presentation. A port is not only wharf and quays, it's also an industrial port zone, which is a value generation trigger. And this, our industrial port zone, generates yearly 2 billion euro of turnover. And it will be boosted in the near future by a new support service area located at the center of this screen. Some insight regarding our master plan. Roughly, the allocation of land in our port is broken down as follows. 18 hectares dedicated for container, 8 hectares dedicated for ro-ro, break bulk, and project cargo, and 10 hectares dedicated for bulk handling. Our master plan is broken down in short term, medium, middle term, and long term. In the short term, we will improve our container facilities. Our reefer terminal will be upgraded from the current 360 reefer plugs to 500 in the near future. We will replace 2 old Panamax ship-to-shore cranes by 2 new ones who will be able to reach across 20 rows on container vessels. We will also purchase an additional mobile harbor crane able to reach across 14 rows. But these mobile harbor cranes will be also dedicated to offload a new traffic of biomass, which is about to phase out the current coal biomass. In the middle term now, we will deploy this new support service area. That means 85 hectares dedicated for industry, local, and international logistics. And in the long term, an extension of a container terminal by land reclaiming. Now we'll move to my second point, the main point, our vision. To explain it, I share with you this COFACE country risk assessment map, which is issued yearly to rank country risk countries. And as you see, Port Réunion, which is a gateway port of Réunion Island, is a risk-free area located at the gates of Africa. this port and its industrial port zone could be a risk mitigation tool and to reduce the risk for supply chain operating into the Indian Ocean. Our vision is outlined by what we say, and I should have said that earlier, is outlined by a brand and launched by the French government. This brand is Choose Réunion Island, Choose La Réunion. And this outlines all the risk-oriented vision that we deploy now. And to service this vision, we can rely on different kind of strengths. And the first one is our maritime connectivity, which is triggered by the fact that the mainliner shipping network in the Indian Ocean operates and call at Port Réunion. For the container traffic, the three main players operates our port through 7 liner services. Regarding the Ro-Ro and breakbolt, we have 2 Ro-Ro regular service calling at Port Réunion and 1 breakbolt service. But I guess that my colleagues will go into that in more details later. Sorry, I'm not very used to use this computer. Another strength that we have, it's our reactivity during the COVID crisis, because we have very early implemented dedicated measure to mitigate COVID-19 ripple effects. The first of it was the implementation of social distancing to protect workers, ship crews, and that allowed to let our port open during the dire time of the crisis. The second point is a phasing of paperless procedure, because we have implemented in La Réunion, in Réunion Island, a dedicated cargo community system, which allowed us to get into the digitalization. We have today implemented a new port single windows software in partnership with Henri ports. And I guess we'll talk about that later. We have implemented and streamlined a crew change system in the post-COVID era. But when you look at the big picture, Réunion Island belongs to what we call a range of ports. This range of ports is a huge logistic network servicing 160 million people through transshipment ports like Mauritius, Réunion Island, Durban, Port Elizabeth, and gateway port connected to freight corridors. To finish now, I would like to say some words regarding our Indian Association of Ports, the PIOI, the Port Association of Indian Ocean Island, who gathers Seychelles Port Authority, Mauritius Port Authority, Thomasina, Port of Ewala in Madagascar, Port Réunion, of course, Port of Longoni in Mayotte, and Comoros Port Authority. We have gone to the idea that we must pool to stay afloat and to go further in our project. And we implement 3 pillars. The first one, that we implement an international cooperation in partnership with the Indian Ocean Commission. We share value with a women empowerment in the industry program. And that's another point which is interesting for us, even due to the COVID crisis, that we implement a new cruise program, and trigger very dear things, sometimes trigger interesting program. And we will trigger certainly the first post-COVID joint program to implement cruise in our basin. That brings me to the end of my presentation. I hand over to you, Nishal.